Right, guys, welcome back to the channel. So, today we're going to be talking about a very sensitive topic, abortion. I'm reading from a Gripped Media article, and this article is stating that since the introduction of abortion into Ireland, there's been a sharp drop in children joining primary school. So, I don't know about your opinion on this here, but I would like to know your opinion on this. Make sure to leave it in the comments section. I might not be able to get back to all your comments, but I do read all your comments, so I want to know your opinion on this. Do you agree with abortion? Do you disagree with abortion? Personally, myself, I think it was inevitable that it was going to be used not the right way. I understand there's circumstances where women need to have an abortion, you know, sexual assaults, that would be their right to have a termination. When it puts their life at risk, that's their right to have a termination. But I do believe, I've read this a little bit. There was 10,000 abortions in 1 year in Ireland. So obviously that's going to have a dramatic effect. That's going to be 10,000 children not joining primary school, not growing up, not going into preschool, going into preschool, going into primary school. So that's a lot of kids. That's a lot of children. Um, so let's verify this. I read that in a different article about 10,000 kids, 10,000 abortions. I pray for all those kids. I'm not saying that there is situations in between that where that shouldn't have happened. Maybe the mother's life was going to be put at risk. Maybe there was a sexual assault, something like that. But something tells me that a lot of it was just people having abortions just for the sake of having abortions. And that's what I completely can't agree with. I disagree with that completely. That, for me, like using abortion as a type of a contraception, if that's the correct word, but like using it, well, it's okay. We can have unprotected sex, because I can just get an abortion. To me, that's not the best way of doing things. And if you listen to the whack job conspiracy theorists like myself, they'll tell you that at the same time there's thousands of kids being aborted, being terminated. There is a mass migration of people coming in here who don't believe in that, and they're having 7 kids to a family. So we need to do our fair share of having children. Marriage is a big one. Get married, have kids. These are things that will fulfill your life. I think the socio-economic situation that we're living in at the minute with mothers, especially native people of Ireland who have lived here, and people have lived here for a very long time. People have got a bloodline in Ireland. They've realized that there's a lot of money to be spent on kids, and they're going away off, and they're doing things with their life. They're starting careers, and that's good. But to me, the fact that we're in a mental health crisis, and there is a situation like an abortion crisis where lots of kids are being aborted, and there's no fulfillment. And true fulfillment doesn't come with having that high flying career where you've got millions of euro, pounds, dollars in the bank. It actually comes with raising a family and having lots of people around you. So, once again, this isn't a verified fact, but I do believe that it's the first time in human history that the human civilization is now in regression. I do believe there's more people dying than there is being born. That could be wrong about that. I know that changes from year to year, but regardless, there definitely is an issue. There's issues that are interlinked. The mental health crisis, people not feeling fulfilled, people feeling depressed, and that's all linked in with us walking away from the family, because there's nothing more fulfilling than having a big family. It's going to have its tough parts, of course, but with a big family comes support. With a big family comes love, joy, happiness. Yeah, sure, it's hard to raise kids, but that in itself is, the process is happiness. And you look back with those memories. There's a lot of people today. There's a lot of women today in their mid 40s. They don't have kids. They wish they did have kids. It's okay. It's easier for men. We can have kids right up until our old age, but for women, there's a point where they need to have kids, and they're not feeling fulfilled. And I think that's linked in with the mental health crisis today. That's just my opinion. So let's read this article now. This is a Gript Media article, and it says abortion a factor in sharp drop in number of children starting school, says TD. The number of children enrolling in Irish primary schools has seen a sharp drop, a new report from the Department of Education has shown. The report released last month shows the enrolment in primary level, while peaking in 2018, have decreased every year since then, while enrolments in post-primary education continue to rise, up 43,439 between 2018 and 2022. Now, that could possibly be a link between the mass migration into Ireland. A lot of people that are coming into Ireland have young children with the mass migration, but there is definitely a drop in kids joining primary school. And if you look at the link between whenever abortion was legalized, it would indicate that we're round about, over the past 3 years, we're round about the age that the kids that would have been born would have been going to primary school. Peadar Toibin, party leader of Antu, claimed that the fall in children starting primary school is linked to Ireland's rising abortion rates. The latest figure estimates that over 10,000 abortions took place in the state last year, a figure which pro-life groups described as alarming. So think about that, 10,000 abortions in Ireland last year. Think about that. I'm not saying some of them are warranted. Aren't warranted. They are. There's some of them, there's probably abortions that need to happen to save the mother's life, or as I say, sexual assaults. But a lot of them would have been just women going in, just having an abortion because they can. And then that's a child that isn't born. For me, I can't condone that, and I won't condone that, and I 100% disagree with that, and that's where, I would be pro-life. But I do recognise there's some cases where the mother's life's put in danger because of pregnancy, and an abortion is needed, or a sexual assault, and in those cases it should be up to the mother to make the decision. Ireland has witnessed a surge in the number of abortions since the majority of the electorate voted to repeal the 8th Amendment in 2018. In total, 8,156 abortions took place in 2022 under the Health Regulation of Termination of Pregnancy Act 2018. That's a lot in itself. In 2022, there's a lot that, 2022, last year, it doesn't give you the stats for last year, I don't think. I don't know why. But there's been thousands of kids not being born since 2018. Thousands. So obviously that's going to have an effect. And if you think about it this way, and yet I want you to see it this way, say Muslims coming into Ireland at the minute, they're not getting abortions. That's, Christians aren't, diehard Christians aren't going to get abortions no matter what. And Muslims aren't going to get abortions. So what does that tell you? Well, the native people of Ireland that have their bloodlines here are getting abortions. So there's thousands of kids not being born, while there's a mass migration of people who don't believe in abortion, and there's only a very small number of people who are diehard Christians that won't have an abortion. So, you can work those numbers out for yourself, and what will it be like in 20 years' time? You're basically killing yourselves off. That's the way I see it. This stands in comparison to 4,577 abortions in 2021, 6,577 abortions in 2020, and would you hear this for a number? 6,666, there's a lot of sixes there, abortions in 2019. Weird year. What happened in that year, at the end of that year? 6,666. The first year of Ireland's abortion regime, the surge in numbers has sparked fears from pro-life campaigners that the rate will continue to go up. Of course it will. You'll have a year in Ireland, in a small island, where there's going to be 20,000 abortions because people will take that option. Speaking to Gript on Friday, Peadar Toibin framed last year's estimate of 10,000 abortions in context of school classes. Yes, you have to, because the more kids that are being aborted, the less kids that are going to go to school. 10,000 abortions is equivalent to losing 400 classrooms of school children to abortion in 1 year. The Meath West TD said, adding, "It's heartbreaking." So think about that. 400 classrooms of children haven't been born because of abortions just in 1 year alone. So we don't need to read any more of that. So that's shocking, and I want you to think about that. And I understand it's hard for some people, because there's going to be some people watching this going, "Well, I didn't have a choice because I had no money. The father left, and he left me stranded, and I didn't have a good family unit." Well, that was the start of your family unit. You could have created your own family unit. Who knows where your life would have been if you didn't do that? That could have been the next leader of Ireland. That could have been somebody who, doesn't matter who that person turned out to be. That was a young Irish boy or girl that could have grew up to be anything. Bin man, the greatest bin man ever. Who cares? Doesn't make a difference. It would have contributed to society. And I think a lot of people look at the economic system right now and they go, "Well, I don't want to have any kids because of this crazy world." Having kids is the best thing you'll ever do. There's nothing that tops that. All of the your friends have got their life and they're going out and they don't have kids or whatnot. Think about it this way. They also talk about mental health problems. I know a woman, she's got 8 kids, and I don't know how she does it. Very young couple, 27, and the father he's took on a couple of kids, but the father's 24. They don't have time for mental health struggles. So all I'm saying is I see happiness within big families. I see happiness with children. Personally, myself, I think it's demonic. I think what you're seeing there is that's a ritual that negative people are feeding off. I don't think it's being used to save mothers' lives, or people that have been through sexual assault. It's not there. That option isn't presented to them. I think that's people using abortion as like, well, I can just get an abortion. Doesn't matter if I get pregnant, I can just get an abortion. And now there's 400 in 1 year. 400 classrooms will be empty because that's the amount of kids that have been terminated. And at the same time, there is a mass migration of people coming in here who disagree with that and won't do that. So you're being outbred, and you're allowing it because you're just killing off your own population. And that's how I feel about it.